Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are joining us from. My name is Pınar Keskin-Ocak. I am the 2020 President of Informs, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the inaugural virtual 2020 Informs annual meeting. At Informs, we recognize that our most valuable asset is you, our members. A vibrant community comprised of innovators, game changers, researchers, and educators. Now more than ever, fostering a worldwide community of OR analytics and data science professionals has taken on an even greater importance. Our skills are the skills needed now. Before I move forward, however, I would like to recognize that this is a very special time for our profession. While our rich roots extend to 1950s, 2020 marks the 25th anniversary of Informs. So in many ways, 2020 was filled with examples of exactly the energy and resilience that will set the course for Informs for the next 25 years, despite all the various challenges that we experienced this year around the world. The future of Informs and the future of OR and analytics is brighter than ever before. Let's continue changing the world together, one problem at a time. So here is a look at our agenda for today. We will first recognize our voluntary service awardees, our moving spirit honorees, our outgoing editor-in-chief of our journals, and of course, our Informs Fellow Class of 2020. We will recognize some of our board members who are continuing their service or who already finalized their service on the board or about to finalize their service on the board. And then we also would like to welcome Elena Gerstmann, our new Informs Executive Director.
Thank you, Pınar. Volunteers are critical to the mission and future of Informs. Next, we will be recognizing honorees in 3 award and service categories. On behalf of the Informs Board of Directors and the 2020 Volunteer Service Award Committee, it is my honor to recognize the exceptional contributions of 7 volunteer leaders for their outstanding service to Informs and the OR and analytics community. Diana Cope, in recognition of her leadership of the Organization Support Resources Committee and continued service on the Business Analytics Planning Committee. Warren Hearns, in recognition of his continued leadership as chair of the Informs Career Center at both the Business Analytics and annual meetings. Sheldon H. Jacobson, in recognition of his numerous volunteer roles, including chair of the Informs NSF Liaison Committee, contributions to ORMS Today, op-eds through Informs communication and advocacy initiatives, and promoting Informs in interviews with journalists and reporters. Bill Klimek, in recognition of his dedicated commitment to the Informs Professional Recognition Committee and leading the effort to review the Informs OR and Analytics Student Team Competition. Jack Levis, in recognition of his numerous volunteer roles, including past president of the Analytics Society, chair of the Analytics Certification Board, practice section advisory board member, and practice co-chair for the 2020 Informs annual meeting, and for his commitment to promote Informs, its members, and the ORMS analytics profession. Shanti Spanton, in recognition of her dedicated commitment to the Informs Professional Recognition Committee and continued service to the Railway Applications section. Finally, Julie Swan, in recognition of her numerous volunteer roles, including serving as Informs subject matter expert for the COVID-19 pandemic, with coverage featured in CNBC, Forbes, The Washington Post, and many others, serving on the Advocacy Committee, the Impact Prize Competition Committee, and a host of other positions. We also want to thank the entire Volunteer Service Award Committee for their time and dedication to the task of selecting this year's honorees. Next, we present the Moving Spirit honorees. On behalf of the Informs Board of Directors and the 2020 Chapters and Fora Committee, it's my honor to recognize the exceptional contributions of 2 volunteer leaders for their outstanding service to Informs and their forum and chapter. Dorothy Han, in recognition of her leadership role with women in ORMS, Dorothy established a fundraising system that consistently yields over $30,000 of sponsorship funding annually. These funds have allowed WORMS to provide more awards to students and other deserving members. Dorothy also reignited the WORMS networking reception at the annual meeting. Dorothy is by far the best moving spirit of women in ORMS. Vinod Cherian, in recognition of his continued volunteer and leadership role with the Informed Chicago chapter since 2015, Vinod helped lead the effort to create an ambitious strategic plan for the chapter in 2020. Vinod led the organization through 4 successful virtual activities and conferences. He and the board also established a volunteer action committee, an apprenticeship-like platform that successfully seeded the pipeline of aspiring board members. We also want to thank the entire Chapters Fora Committee for their time and dedication in selecting this year's Moving Spirits in Chapters and Fora. Next, we will recognize the distinguished service of 3 exiting journal editors-in-chief. Anne Robinson, series editor of Inform's Editor's Cut, 2015 to 2020. Anne is the inaugural series editor for Editor's Cut. She oversaw 15 curated volumes, was instrumental in highlighting industry and multimedia content. She authored or co-authored several ORMS Today articles about Editor's Cut, and is leading the Editor's Cut volume on Inform's 25th anniversary. Martin Savelsberg, editor-in-chief of Transportation Science, 2015 to 2020. Martin oversaw Transportation Science's 50th anniversary celebrations in 2016, shepherded Transportation Science from a quarterly to bi-monthly publication in 2018, oversaw several special issues, including urban freight transportation and logistics, facility logistics, recent advances in urban transport and logistics, air transportation planning and operations under uncertainty, RODAF Euro Challenge, and Tristan, Triennial Symposium on Transportation Analysis. Additionally, he served as president of the Transportation and Logistics Society of Informs and is an Informs Fellow. Christopher S. Tang, editor-in-chief of Manufacturing and Service Operations Management, 2015 to 2020. Chris was instrumental in the addition of Emensam to the FT50 list. He championed significant improvements to the review process to improve collegiality and reduce time to decision. Oversaw significant growth in submissions, usage, and impact. Shepherded Emensam from a quarterly to bi-monthly publication in 2020. Emensam was ranked A by the Federation of Management Societies of China in 2020. Additionally, he oversaw Emensam's 20th anniversary celebrations in 2019, and he is an Informs Fellow. Informs thanks and congratulates all this year's winners and nominees. Please join me in a round of applause for all our honorees. And be sure to join us for the Informs Awards ceremony Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Pinar, back to you.
So congratulations to the Informs Fellows class of 2020. Please join me in congratulating them. We are so proud of them. We have such an amazing community, and congratulations to our new cohort of fellows. And also many thanks to the fellow selection committee chair, Shane Henderson, and the committee members, as well as to all of you who supported nominations of our fellows this year and over the years. So congratulations again and welcoming our new cohort of fellows. So here is our 2020 Board of Directors. I would like to thank all of them for their service. It's been truly a pleasure working with them, especially during these challenging times. So very much appreciate their dedication to Informs and to our profession and to our community. And I would like to recognize two of our outgoing board members for their distinguished service. Lori Garrow, Vice President of Sections and Societies. In her role, Lori has been a very passionate voice for the interests and concerns of our subdivisions. She actively promoted synergies between the board and officers, and by extension, our members. Her accomplishments include opening new lines of collaboration with Informs committees and also with subdivisions. She was also instrumental in increasing the efficiency of subdivisions council and sections and societies committee meetings and streamlining the process for establishing new community awards. So it's been truly a pleasure working with Lori. We are grateful to her for her service on the board. And I also would like to give our thanks and appreciation to Ramya Krishnan, 2019 President of Informs. Krishnan's strong leadership left its mark in his role as the 2019 Informs President and the 2020 past President of Informs. His passion to our community and his dedication to Informs is truly unmatched. His ability to think about the future of our profession, including the impact on opportunities around artificial intelligence and other emerging areas, will help lay the groundwork for a truly vibrant future for Informs and our members. Krishnan, we are going to miss you on the board, but we know you are not far away. And as I told you many times, even though your role officially might be ending, we will probably knock on your door quite often to get feedback, advice, and suggestions from you moving forward. Thanks again for your amazing service to our community. Much appreciated.
Hello, everybody. Ramya Krishnan here, 2019 President of Informs. My time on the board has come to an end, and I want to take a moment to thank all of you members for giving me the opportunity to serve as your president. Informs is an amazing organization, and I have to warn you, I'm going to use amazing a lot. And I've had the pleasure and honor to work with a great group of staff members and board members. We accomplished a great deal together. Two that are top of mind are the AI strategy for Informs and the Informs Journal on Data Science. While I don't have the time to thank everyone by name, I do want to thank former Executive Director Melissa Moore, who was an amazing partner during my term as president, and Grace Trent, who made everything work. They're truly special. Informs is in very good hands as we navigate the pandemic. We have an outstanding group of colleagues on the executive committee: President Pinar Keskinocak, President-elect Steve Graves, Treasurer Dave Hunt, and Secretary Tori Chen, and our new wonderful Executive Director, Elena Gerstmann. The future is bright for Informs, and I do plan to stay engaged and connected and look forward to Informs growing from strength to strength. Thank you again, and goodbye, and good luck.
So now I would like to invite Steve Graves, 2021 President of Informs, and welcome, Steve, into your new role. And I would like to turn it over to Steve to hear his remarks.
Pinar, I've got my gavel here. Magically, somehow it showed up, but I'll try to put it to good use. And I want to take this time to also thank you for the incredible service that you've provided to Informs, especially over this past year, and your leadership and your in helping to get us as far as we have gone through this crisis. I also want to note how remarkable it has been in terms of what you've been doing over this past year, not only in terms of leading Informs, but in terms of your day job as being a researcher, using your analytic skills to study the pandemic and to help us, again, manage it and get through this. And so again, I think it's remarkable. You've been a fantastic example, an exemplar for our community. I also want to congratulate today's honorees that we've gone through. Again, thank you so much for your service. Thank you for your good work. I hope we can continue to call upon you for your help as we go forward in the coming years. Needless to say, this has been a special year. It's been an unprecedented year. We're still in the middle of this. As many of you may know, we're doing a strategic planning exercise with Elena. We hope that coming out of that, we will take full advantage in some sense of this crisis and will identify new opportunities as we go forward so as to create, in effect, a new Informs that we're going to be proud of in terms of what we'll be able to accomplish over the next 25 years. To all the members there, again, thank you for your presence. Thank you for your help. Thank you for your service. I hope you appreciate that the Board of Directors is here to serve you. Please call upon us. Please share your ideas. Please engage and help us as we go forward into 2021. I look forward to continuing to work with Pinar, with the board, with Elena, as we, again, make great progress in getting out of this mess over the next year or two. Thank you again. Back to you, Pinar.
And now I would like to introduce Inform's Executive Director, Elena Gerstmann. Elena officially joined Informs just over 3 months ago and literally hit the ground running. She oversees the operations and management of Informs and over 55 professional staff. Before joining Informs, Dr. Gerstmann served as a consultant, facilitator, researcher, and leader on key client projects for Elena Group. She previously served on the senior executive team at the American Society of Mechanical Engineers, ASME, where she was responsible for strategy and planning, volunteer leadership development, corporate communications, international relationships, and several other roles, including board relationships and executive operations. Before joining ASME, she was an executive with IEEE. So Elena, welcome to Informs. We are so happy to have you with us, and the stage is yours.
Thank you, Pinar. So now that you know a little bit about my professional self, let's actually go to a bit about me personally. So that's me. That's my wife, Beth. She works for a company called 360 Live Media. She focuses also on associations. Our oldest, he's a senior at UMass Amherst. And our youngest just started her first semester at Bryn Mawr College. Everybody's doing well. I have to say I'm happy on the home front. I'm also thrilled with what's going on at Informs. So these are things I wrote before I got here, and I have to say that they have held true in my first 3.5 months. We are a healthy organization. I will mention later that we are running a deficit, but that doesn't mean we're not healthy. We have a lot of strengths to build on. I also believe the world needs Informs to grow. And I don't just mean in size, I mean in terms of impact. The world needs better decision-making skills based on data. And of course, I believe that we can grow. We can grow in our market share and who we serve. We can grow in what we deliver, our products, our programs, our services. And I believe we can make more of an impact in how we empower and engage our members, our communities, and our subdivisions. So thank you today for being here as members of Informs. So why are members so important? It's because members are the core of Informs. When I think about membership of Informs, I think it's part of our DNA. Members aren't just transactional customers. They're our leaders, our doers. They are Informs. And when this slide here just shows a little bit of the ecosystem of everything that members touch, but they're really the engine behind what we do. So if you think about it, we have 55 volunteer committees. We have 17 journal editorial boards and 3 magazine editorial teams. We have 92 section societies, forums, and chapters. We have 56 headquarters staff working day in and day out on behalf of Informs. We have 456 community officers, and leading us all, setting the direction for the organization, are the 16 members of the Informs Board of Directors. Okay, so what have we done with this structure? Well, here are some highlights from 2020. First of all, we always have some good news and bad news. I believe 2020 is the ultimate year of balancing act. So I'll tell you some unfortunate news. We are running a deficit. In 2020, we ran close to $1 million deficit. In 2021, we're estimating that we will run again around $1 million in deficit spending. Now, luckily, we have reserves. We have the rainy day fund that we can keep going. And I recommended to the board that we actually do keep this deficit for, of course, this year and even next year, because we need to invest in our future. Informs is strong. We can rebound from this because it's COVID related and we can grow. So this isn't a time to tighten up our belts too much, but it's really a time of investment and to think about growth. Yes, we will tighten our belts a bit. We'll increase our efficiencies in other areas, but we're really focused on the future. So our COVID-19 response. Right off the bat, we created a separate section on informs.org for peer review research. That's been very well received. We launched a robust public relations campaign that has resulted in hundreds of members being in much of the media space, including tier 1 media. We're very heavy in social media. In fact, over 1.5 million eyeballs, as they call it, have seen social media posts that we've done. And then also we have the podcast, Informs Resoundingly Human. And they had 9 episodes on COVID-19. Now, if you haven't listened to this podcast, please, take a note to yourself, listen to this podcast. It is a wonderful podcast. In my top 3, and I'm not just saying that because I'm the Informs executive director, Ashley Kilgore, who's the host of the podcast, does a wonderful job talking with our members about the things that impact the world. So definitely check that out. We, of course, are celebrating our 25th anniversary. 25 years ago, we had the merger that created in the birth that birthed Informs. We'll have the editor's cut volume coming out soon. We have the debut of the 25th anniversary video coming up this week at the award ceremony. And we're also doing a special campaign called $25 for 25. And this is an opportunity for you to give a little bit back to the organization in support of supporting students who come to our events. We have over $2,000 raised. The other thing not on this slide is, you may have already noticed it in the annual meeting, but we have little quote unquote commercials being run. And these are videos that our members have posted celebrating the 25th anniversary. So if you've done a video, I hope you see yourself and you're proud of the work you've done. And if you haven't yet done a 25th anniversary video, you still can. And I hope you see your friends on the video. Of course, we're very proud of the journals. We have an increase in the number of articles submitted, the number of articles accepted, the numbers of pages published. And one of the metrics I pay really close attention to are the number of downloads. So we have a 6% increase year over year. And this is so important because it says that the stuff that we're publishing, people are actually using, they're reading it and they value it. We have a new journal coming out shortly. This is the Informs Journal on Data Science. We, of course, have our 3 magazines. All of them are up in readership. And over the past summer, a few months ago, we launched a new look for ORMS Tomorrow, which, of course, is geared towards our students. So I hope you're enjoying these magazines. Last spring, we pivoted in just a few weeks' time from an in-person analytics meeting to virtual with a lot of success. We have over 1,300 members who registered and close to 4,000 non-members registered for this conference. And we're looking forward to the 2021 in just a few months. We already have 2 great keynotes lined up. We have Carla Darling from MIT and Chris Wiggins from the New York Times, who will be 2 of the plenary speakers. We anticipate having over 1,000 participants, over 400 companies represented, and over 150 speakers. But wait, there's more. What else have we done? Well, Inform's hired me. Having a new executive director is part of the history, an important part of the history of an organization. Not only are our publications, are we doing more of them, we're doing it faster. Also really proud of the work we're doing in diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is something that's near and dear to my heart. We're gathering momentum. We have a long way to go, but we are committed to do the right thing. CAP is going strong. CAP is our certified analytics professional. It's going really well, and we were able to turn the in-person proctoring of exams, able to do that online and with certified online proctoring. We have new endowments, including one for early career professionals, so we're happy with that. We launched an association management system, which is internal IT, but really important for us to run smoothly. We have the analytics capability evaluation. We recharge some of our international activities. I just met with the board on developing a 2021 strategic plan. And why do we do most of this? Well, we do this to increase value to our members and increase engagement. We also have some early career dues savings coming up. And of course, there's so much more. And so stay tuned for that in the coming months and years. Just two more quick slides. I want you to remember to recognize your peers. One of the things that Informs is great at is recognizing the greatness within our community. So ask you, think about your peers. Who should be nominated for an award, and then nominate them. And for those of you in the audience who recently won or have won these awards in the past, congratulations. You make us all very proud. And finally, Pro Bono Analytics. I love this program. This is a program that was actually developed by members in the subdivision council to actually put the power of analytics and help nonprofits with their mission. Did 10 programs this year, so 3 of them are complete. We're still working on 7. If you have projects that you think that Pro Bono Analytics should work on, please share it with them, or if you want to volunteer. And then to end, this is my email address. I ask you to keep that handy. If you ever want to share anything with me, opportunities, barriers, or that you listen to the podcast, please email me. My final slide, I always ask myself why. Why do I love this job? Why do you belong to Informs? Why do you give your time to Informs? And I believe it's because we're saving lives, saving money, and solving problems. So on that note, I thank you for your time and have a great rest of the conference. Please be well.